So what I want to talk about, actually, I have a question for you. If so, I want you to talk about it in the chat. I will give you my thoughts on it. If you had to sell a phone, if you had to sell a phone, let's say you own these two phones. Let's say you owned a Pixel 3a today and you owned a OnePlus 7T. Which one would you sell? If you could only use one of those phones today, which one would you own and which one would you sell? Simple question. And, put whatever thoughts you want in the chat, because I know somebody that's trying to sell both and they kind of wanted an answer on that. So it might be helpful. And I'll share my thoughts on that too. So as far as a Pixel 3a and a Pixel 3a and a OnePlus 7T, it's I've never owned a Pixel 3a. I've also never owned a OnePlus 7T, but I can pretty much expect what I would get from both of them. So as far as a Pixel 3a, yeah, you get stock Android and it's going to be supported for a bit, but OnePlus is pretty good with support too. I know that they've had some issues lately, but in terms of something that's going to stay for a while, that's going to perform for a while, like if that was going to be my phone for a couple of years, and I guess that's a question too, is like, how long would I own it for? How long would if I could only own one of the phones, a Pixel 3a or a OnePlus 7T, as much as I want stock Android and love stock Android, and I could only pick one, and that was going to be my phone for the next 2 years, let's say, it would probably be the OnePlus 7T. The Pixel 3a has a Snapdragon 600, I don't know what it is, 670 chipset. And I just don't know how. I feel like over time, that lag would probably get to me. If it does lag, I don't know. I've never owned a Pixel 3a, but I know a OnePlus 7T is always going to be solid in terms of performance. In terms of camera, though, I haven't used a OnePlus 7T either, but I have owned a Pixel 3. I've owned a Pixel 3 XL, and the camera's been pretty solid. It was my favorite phone for 2018. I mean, because I'm a big camera guy and I like camera performance. So, that's still a tough one. I'm sure the OnePlus 7T is going to be serviceable for a camera. I'm sure it's going to be good. It's such a tough question. It's really a tough question, because then it comes down to, well, is the camera more important or is performance more important? And maybe that's really what it comes down to. I do want to bring up the point that I did check Swappa out just to see what they're pricing for. Let me make this bigger for you guys. So the last recently sold phones for the Pixel 3a is coming in at around $225. Let's say this is the average, around $225 right now. You can sell the Pixel 3a for, and then when it comes to the OnePlus 7T, you can sell OnePlus 7T now for, it looks like, around 400-ish bucks. So you'll get more money back. I mean, obviously this is more expensive, right? But it also goes to show that, well, you can get a Pixel 3a now for $299, and you can get a OnePlus 7T right now for $499, right? So the resale values on both are pretty similar to what they're selling for. Because I mean, this OnePlus 7T sold for $440, right? And it's selling for $499. This Pixel 3a sold for $235, and that's going for $299. It's a tough question. I'm actually, in my head, I was like, yeah, no, it has to be the 7T. 7T is the phone to keep over the Pixel 3a because performance and longevity. But then what if I want a better camera? I hate these compromises. And yeah, I don't even know how well battery lasts on the Pixel 3a. I'm sure the OnePlus 7T is going to do a great job in terms of battery life and battery charging, obviously. But yeah, I don't know. Let me go into chat and just see how you guys feel about it. So Six says, I'd sell the Pixel and keep OnePlus. Brian says, does the mafia want to cut my legs off? Brian also says, if I wanted more money, selling the OnePlus 7T. That's a good point too. So maybe if you're looking to sell it because you need more cash, then yeah, obviously the OnePlus 7T is going to net you a couple more bucks. Bob Jones, hey Bob, welcome to the stream. Have I seen you in chat before? I can't remember, but welcome. Thank you for stopping by. Bob says I'd sell the 7T. I'm thinking that the OnePlus will get more cash. Also very true. Brian says for better camera keeping 3A, for better long-term performance keeping the 7T. Yeah, this is kind of what I was talking about. So I guess it's a question of how long you're going to keep the phone for, and is it performance you're looking for and longevity in terms of like how well is this phone going to last you, or are you talking about in terms of, well, what's the best camera I can get? Not that the OnePlus 7T, I'm sure the OnePlus 7T has a decent camera. I just know that it's not going to be on par with the Pixel 3 in terms of night mode or low light shots. Mint Arcade says 7T stays, Pixel won't last. I mean, you know what? I guess that also rings true for resale value. What is the resale value going to be for a 7T 6 months from now, a year from now, versus what is a Pixel 3a going to sell 6 months from now, 1 year from now? I'm pretty sure that the 7T will still sell a lot better 6 months to a year from now than what the Pixel 3a will probably sell 6 months to a year from now. I think I'm pretty right in that assessment. Mike Schneider says, I'd probably go with the 7T. I've never owned the Pixel 3a, but I have my Pixel 3 and I've been somewhat disappointed in it. Battery life being the biggest issue. Yeah, well, and then the Pixel 4 is no better at all. Six says camera to me doesn't really matter between both. I'll add Gcam to the OnePlus and be good. That's also a fair enough point. Brian says Gary gonna be pissed. Yeah, don't show Gary this. Don't show Gary this. But no, I think we're right with our assessments here. It really comes down to what, if camera is more important, performance is more important. But I feel like if if you needed to sell a phone now in terms of resale value, I think the OnePlus 7T is going to hold its value a lot better than what the Pixel 3a is going to hold its value at. Marshall says here, OnePlus has been much more reliable for both hardware and software in my experience. And I think a lot of people would agree with you, Marshall. I think a lot of people feel the same way. Okay, so Javier says I've owned both, so I know how both works in terms of specs and camera. And Six says, no, sorry, Javier. Where's your last point, Javier? Mint Arcade says Gcam saves the day. Marshall also says OnePlus plus Gcam is 99% on par with Pixel, iPhone, Samsung. That's hard to refute too, and I've made photo comparison videos with that. Leon says OnePlus has the best retention in price of any Android phone. That's also a great point. That's really a good thing to talk about too, because yeah, maybe right now, if you're looking for longevity of a phone, then maybe the 3A is the one you got to toss at the moment and keep the 7T, because you know that you're still going to get a good amount of money for it later on.